What's up, guys? Coaching for the Soul, Thursdays at 3 has begun. If you're watching this live, hello, hello, hello. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to the channel, please like the videos, and please leave a little comment, even if it's just hi Bill, or hey, what's going on, and emojis, whatever. That will help the channel grow. Okay, if you could do that for me, I'd appreciate it. We'll see who comes on. It is a gross day in Detroit today, about 40 degrees, and raining. So this is what it's like in Michigan in March, especially the beginning of March. Again, in like a lamb, out like a lion, or in like a lion, out like a lamb, whatever. So yeah. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Hey, Susan, how's it going? How's it going? Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. We're going to have some epiphanies. I'm getting crown chakra lit up again. So we're going to do something with that. Hey, Kathy, how's it going? Yeah, so have a bunch of things to discuss. It's Mercury retrograde, so watch what you say. Don't buy anything big. If you sign on a contract, make sure that you double check it, triple check it. Hello, Carol. Hey, Robin. How's it going? Hey, Nancy. How you doing? Hey, Susan. How are you? Hey, Sherry. How you doing, sister? Susan, you keep coming back. You keep coming on and off. It's kind of weird. Hang on, I gotta get rid of the air purifier. There you go. Sorry about that, but I can tell when it's too much because I can't breathe. Yeah. So I'm good. I'm good, Susan. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, everything's pretty good. Yeah, so there's gonna be a lot of things that I don't know if I've told you guys or not. I've kept a little bit under wraps about things, about the future that I've gotten from Spirit in the last month or two. Yeah, so we're gonna get into that. But like I said, Mercury retrograde's going on now. Goes to the 20th of the month. Then we have a 10-day shadow. So, hey, Allison. So we're going into the month of April. Okay. Mercury retrograde is in Pisces. I'm a Pisces moon, so it's affecting things. Okay. Watch what you say. Watch how you say it. Hey, Lacey. And how you do it. Okay. Jupiter's getting ready to come out of retrograde in Cancer very soon, and that is a awesome push for what you've asked for. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It gives you what you want. Okay. Hey, Lucia, and so that's coming in April. No, it's coming this month. Coming this month. Yes. So, Sherry, then we need to talk about that, right? Sherry just said she had a past life regression done. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. So just two big things in astrology. Again, the Mercury retrograde, which affects everybody. The blessing is that as we go into fifth dimensional energy, or fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional, maybe sixth, it affects us less because we speak automatically, okay? And there's less 3D all around, which is happening now. This won't be a doomsday type of session, okay? There's some troubling things. There's some deep troubling things that we have to wrap our heads around that are going to happen between now and the end of the year, okay? So, I think we're gonna start, okay? My ears are ringing like crazy right now. Okay. Where's the dog? Daisy's underneath the table sleeping. Hey, Tina, how's it going? Okay, so where do I start? Okay, so a couple months ago, I believe it was, hey, Alexis, I believe I probably a couple months ago, I did the meditation and Spirit told me about what was going to happen in the country this year in 2026. So it was probably 3 months ago. And how things are going to crumble inside, right? The matrix is going to basically fall apart. And that's Saturn's job, okay? Because Saturn is structure, okay? So during that meditation, it was very interesting. I believe I talked about it the next week or two after I did the meditation. I might have said something about a new president in 2027 after people are removed from office this year. And now I know why. Now I know why. Okay, so 2 or 3 things. First of all, the war with Iran from the United States and Israel. Don't be surprised if we lose that war, okay? Hey, Savannah, don't be surprised if we lose that war, okay? We went into it blindly. They just want destruction. And want everybody to understand, why are they bombing other countries in the Middle East, meaning Iran? Because they have a plan they've been working on for 40 years on when the United States and Israel attack us, what we're going to do. So this is for entertainment purposes only, okay? I'm going on my intuitive self, what I hear from my guides, okay? That the reason they're bombing other countries is because of the technology that they have, number one, that the other countries expected the United States to protect them from, but also, how do I put this? They have a plan which we do not know about. And it is all about, and it's not World War III, okay? Hey, Beth, how you doing? It's not World War III, okay? It is going to be regional conflict. But Iran has so many stockpiles of weapons, and they want the whole region to implode, to explode, okay? That's why they're doing what they're doing systematically, okay? If they cut off the oil to the world, nobody wins, because they won't have the money from selling oil, but also the world won't have the oil to use every day. So we need to really put our heads around, this is part of the collapse of the matrix. A huge portion of the collapse. Okay, Venezuela. I believe that they had troops in Ecuador yesterday. Okay, saying that it's for the drugs that come to America. That's not it at all, guys. That's not it at all. I'm kind of going all over the place, but it all fits together in the end. Okay, so understanding there's 3 powers in the world: United States, Russia, and China. Russia is not a power, but they can access Europe very easily, like they did before when they became the Soviet Union. So for Putin and for Orange, they have decided to carve up the world, just like what happened after World War II. Okay? We were the main leader in that. Why? Because we had the Industrial Revolution. Okay? We were able to supply I'm going to get this right, because they're speeding in my head, right? Blah, 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 and I can't go that fast. Because I want to get it right. The powers that fought the Axis powers, we could supply all of our partners with everything that they needed. We're talking England, France, Russia, USSR, okay? Yes. We were the supplier to the world, okay? They're carving up, they plan on carving up the world, okay? That's why when you hear and see things in the Americas, North and South America, Greenland, okay? Hey, Julie. That is what they're focused on in the United States. That's what the orange is focused on. It's all in Project 2025, okay? So that's why they're doing the Ecuador thing, why they're doing the Venezuela thing, okay? They think they can, and Cuba's next. Trust me, Cuba's going to get invaded, and they're going to make it a part of the United States. Guaranteed. I'll tell you by June. By June. If they don't, awesome. But they're telling me it's going to happen. Okay? So as they try to do this, everything collapses inside of them. Hey, Adrian. It collapses inside of us. So like Spirit has always said, don't pay attention to what's outside. Don't pay attention to that. Okay? Because if you do, you're going to get wrapped up in that third dimensional energy and you're going to feel horribly gross. Again, this is what this session is all about. Okay? We're going to talk about it probably to the end. We have to be prepared for that. Remember when Spirit said, have money in your house? Because monetary system is going to crash. It's going to crash. I got it again the other day. It's going to crash. It's coming up. So have ones, tens, 20s in your house. Don't do hundreds, 50s and hundreds if you can not have them, because when you go to buy something, they won't have change to give you back. Why? Because if they get all their money from the Federal Reserve through Brinks. Brinks takes the money, Brinks brings the money. Or some type of carrier. I believe in the West it's Wells Fargo. Okay? So have that. This is another portion of that. Okay? They're actually showing us exactly what will possibly happen in the rest of this year, especially through July. So there's something about July that is pinnacle. Very, very soon, there'll be 7 planets in Aries. Aries is the planet of fire. It's the planet of throwing shit to the wind. Try it and see what happens. I'm willing to do that. Not planning things out. Doing things on a whim, as we've seen already. Okay? And this will lead to Orange is going to pass away. Probably by July. He's extremely sick. Okay? And he knows that. He knows that. That will set everything else in motion. Okay? Interesting how in 2021, 2019. I believe it was 2019. How Spirit, through the channeling session, right, talked about how things were going to fall, and we were going to be in a crisis, a financial crisis for sure. Okay, and how it was all going to play out. That somebody was going to pass away, and and all of a sudden, out of the chaos, was going to be a person who was not born, okay, who rises up and basically brings all the late workers together, all of the 60%, let's say, okay, and go and heal the country, save the country. And then a female shows up also after that, okay, and I got that in my meditation of 2 or 3 months ago. And a former president will be put into office because Spirit says he's the only one that is honest. And as the corruption gets bigger and bigger and bigger, Epstein files, today the House and Senate voted against a bill a law basically to have criminal history of people in the Congress and in the House and the Senate to be able, where we could see their information about sexual abuse, all of these things having to do with corruption. They vetoed. They did not put that through. The nays were like 200 and whatever, and the fours were 64. Okay? So again, all of this is working towards the collapse. All right? The corruption is so deep that it is going to astonish us. It is going to blow our freaking minds. Okay? They want the status quo. Both sides are corrupt. Okay? Both sides are corrupt. And yes, you see the Democrats absolutely just status quo, except for Bernie Sanders, who's an independent, right? AOC, and a few other Jasmine Crockett, okay? A few others that are standing up, but the rest of them are all weak. They've been told not to save their jobs. Okay, that right there is corruption. As the leadership of the Democratic Party gets replaced, because it will, okay, in 2026, probably this year or possibly next year, as the government falls, it's going to fall. It's going to fail. Yes. It's going to fail and be replaced. It's going to fail and be replaced, which is true. That's what they told me a couple months ago in the meditation. Okay? And I will say that I was meditating. I'm going to tell you the whole story because I need to. Barack Obama showed up on the right side of my head in the meditation. And I said to Spirit out loud, which I always talk out loud, why is Barack Obama in my head? He's the next president of the United States. Next president of the United States. I said, Spirit, he can't be the president of the United States. He's already served 2 terms. He's the replacement when the government is replaced. At one time, they will take all of them at the same time, no matter where they're at in the world. They will collect them. The military will collect them. It'll be a military coup. Martial law will be in place, Spirit said. Okay? Not forever, but to keep the crazies from being crazy. Right? As they remove all of them and put them blindfolded and the plastic handcuffs, right? Those ties. I forget what they're called. All relocated into an airplane hangar someplace that's unannounced. That's when they are able to take they will remove the blindfolds, but they will still be shackled, let's say. No social media, no phones, no anything. They will be there by themselves, all of them in the same freaking room. Okay? And then Spirit said the Nuremberg type trials will be in 2027 and 2028. They will not survive that. Zip ties. Thank you, Julie. They will not survive that. None of them will survive that. This is the collapse of the absolute corrupt government that has been in place since the 1700s. Every single man who signed the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, were white, rich, and privileged. That's why those men were put in charge of this, because for our country and the rest of the world, of course, which has always had men mostly in charge, but for the brand new nation, when they wrote those documents, those men were white and privileged and put in place how they could stay rich by enslaving black people, immigrants, the Irish, the Scottish, all of those people that came from Europe, those white folks that came from Europe, were all had jobs. What were those jobs? Those jobs were to do the things for the rich white people. As things went west, as the Chinese came in to build the railroad, because we didn't have enough men to work the railroad from east to west, and they met in the middle, okay? As soon as that was done, they treated those workers like crap. Horrible, horrible conditions. Horrible. Some of them didn't get paid, okay? And then they wanted to put them all in internment camps because we'd already used them for what we wanted from them. And then they deported them back to China. Most of them, not all of them. Again, entertainment purposes only, okay? Same thing with the Japanese, okay? Same thing with that. The absolute extortion that happened in this country's history is appalling. Now, was it the time that it happened? Yes. Yes. Because white people have ruled the world for thousands of years. Hundreds of thousands of years. Let's just say hundreds of years, okay? Because Spirit's showing me like back in the 900s, right? Back then, let's say 1,000 years, chimes. My one little chime bar and my circle just chimed, okay? So for hundreds of years, the white male has been in charge with his privilege, okay? That's all falling in, guys. That is all falling in inside of us. All falling in inside of us, okay? As Pam Gregory said, 60% will get it because they're being enlightened. 40% will not get it. Until 20% of that 40% goes, okay, I know what's going on now. Those people are crazy, MAGA. I'm going this way. I'm going with the group. Hey, Audrey. Okay? As this continues to get worse, because it's going to, especially until July. And that might be, there's something, I know, Spirit, I don't remember what it is. He said, well, tell him. I said, I don't remember what it is. It's an astrological thing that's going on. I don't remember what it is because right now I'm here and I'm having a hard time speaking because my humanness is saying, don't do that. But they're telling me I have to do this. So there's a battle going on right now. Because it's scary. Again, who knows, right? We don't know. So as this happens, look what happened in the first, 90 days of the 2026. Not even 90 days, 60, let's say 75 days, right? 70 days. Crazy. It's crazy. And like Spirit has said before, in years past, multiple times, Donald Trump was elected in 2016 to bring white people, disgruntled white people from the shadows into the light so they can heal. That's his job. That's his job. And he did it very well. Okay? The fight against brown people, the fight against anybody who's not a white male is his whole journey. Re-elected last year. Yeah, 24, yeah. Again, it's worse now because it has to be. Why? Because it's collapsing inside of itself. The matrix is dying a little at a time every single day. It's no longer, Spirit says it no longer supports us. That is why we are able to connect deeper with the divine. Because the matrix that was around us that blocked us from being allowed to connect to the divine is now crumbling. So as we go forward, all of us are going to get more and more deep into who we are in this lifetime. It's going to happen. Spirit has also said many times before, talking about how we were going to be called into service. It's going to happen. Leaders are the leaders, right? Leaders of leaders. Okay? I'm one of those. I will take that mantle with excitement because I understand what they mean. Because they've told me that many times in the past. And I was like, no. Well, we don't have a choice. We do not have a choice. As we're all turned on, as the vibration goes up, as we connect more and more with who we truly are this lifetime, from now until 50, 60, 70 years into the future, for most of us, okay? It comes with understanding, Spirit says. You will understand why. You will understand all of it because we'll be in higher dimensional energy, which allows us to receive and understand what they're telling us because we've already been uploaded with that information. Okay? Now, financial crisis. Okay? The Fed is not going to open. Will not open. I will guarantee you. The more that I get from them about it's going to crash, not as bad as the Great Depression because there's things in place, but the orange is trying to bankrupt the country. Okay? When we were in charge after World War II, countries around the world, because we told them it was the way it was going to be, again, ancient white privilege, male privilege, okay? That it was all business on the planet was going to be done in dollars. In dollars. Why was that? Because those countries that we bought oil from, okay, and other goods, we gave them dollars, and guess what? They spent those dollars in America. Without corruption. But of course, corruption has always been there. So, again, with Iran, the same exact thing. They have got stockpiles of everything that they actually need and a plan how to bankrupt America. Not just bankrupt the West, but bankrupt America. Okay? Digital currency is coming, everybody. It is coming. Crypto is coming. And why is that important? Because the oligarchs at the top, the rich white people, have a plan for this. And fortunately, as the infrastructure crumbles, as the matrix crumbles inside of itself, they are powerless. But right now, their plan in 2027, if not sooner, is to put the world not on dollars anymore, but on digital currency with one central bank for the world. I never thought I believed that until they smashed me with it about a week ago. And right now my heart is like this, just constricted, because I never thought it would happen. But now I understand now about getting money and putting it in your house, that you're going to need it for services, okay? Gas, groceries. The system that we know of for paying our bills is going to be diminished, okay? It's going to be like the pandemic, only worse. But being shut off, social distancing, let's say, won't be needed, but there'll be no place to go to because industries will crumble. Industries will crumble, okay? And once they remove the cabinet, because they've gone past what the military, which is already planning now, okay? Plan's already getting ready. If you haven't noticed, there's a presence for Barack Obama. Came out of nowhere, okay? Ready and able, because he's the only honest one, Spirit says. He's the only honest one. Yes. See? So, Adrian says digital currency will be, how will the big banks hang to that? Well, they do it already now. Again, they transfer money that's not really there. It's all done in, what did they call it? Spirit says Bitcoin, okay? They've leveraged on leveraged on leveraged without actually spending money to buy things, okay? Because it's all on a pyramid scheme like in 2008 when the financial crisis, housing prices went down. They had to save GM, they had to save Chrysler, they had to save many suppliers. Again, I'm in Detroit, so that's what I use as a reference, right? They had to save them, and who saved them? Barack Obama, not George Bush. And it happened in 2000. It happened in Michigan. It happened way before 2008, when the election was in November. Okay, we were in dire straits in 2008. I remember living in Chicago at the time, and business was fine. There was no big deal, right? But then when I'd come home to see my friends and my family in Detroit, and it was a freaking depression. I mean, it was crazy. Huge layoffs. GM was bankrupt. Stellantis, right? Then Chrysler, Dodge, bankrupt. Ford was bankrupt. They put money on their logo is how they survive without going bankrupt. Carol, the stock market will drop at least 50%. Carol asked anything about the stock market. It's going to drop. Right now, it's already inflated. It's inflated because of the oligarchs who hold 42% of the wealth in America. 42% of the wealth in America. The Great Depression, they own 40% of the wealth in America. Only 2% more this lifetime. Again, it's all panning out to be similar but different because there's more technology, there's more everything. And as we've seen for the last year, prices are higher, they don't care. Everything is higher. You know, electric bill, your gas bill, food, clothing, anything that you buy is a higher price, even though the tariffs have been lifted. With a 10% tariff on all the, again, that's the plan of the Orange and the Heritage Foundation. Sue asked, will stocks go back up at some point? They will, but it won't. It's 333 right now. They will, but it won't be like a third dimensional stock market any longer. It will be done in a different way. So there'll be lots and lots of I know, sorry, get to that. There'll be a lot of companies that are bankrupt, companies that go bankrupt, and a lot of people lose their money. I believe from them, that's how, it's two ways, how the rich lose their money through the stock market and through taxes. And that will be something that rattles them all. Because as Spirit said, again, before, right, months ago, I think 2024, I believe, that they're going to lose their money from the government side of it. And our government will take that and rebuild the government from the bottom up. So that there's no more mega rich people who are the oligarchs, and that they would have no place to flee except for China, Russia, Belarus, Hungary, North Korea, or the Arab states, right, in the Middle East, because NATO will go by what the United States government is charging them on taxes. They will stand next. They will stand next to us. Well, now it is a question. They will not do that with the Orange, but they'll do it with Barack Obama. Again, world order, right? And as the digital system crashes, because it's going to, okay, it will be remade, Spirit says. But we will still have independence in our money. Okay? But it will no longer be where business is done in dollars, which can help to bankrupt the country. Because when we are in the system of business around the world is done in dollars, the government can borrow against that. Once that's gone, our $1 trillion of deficits are going to need to get paid to the countries that own our bonds. Japan, England, a lot of countries in Europe that bought our bonds because they were the bastard stepchildren, with the granddaddy being the United States. They did what we told them to, not in an easy way. So all of this is going to show us exactly how things have been done, not only since World War II, but even before that. And it's going to be scary. Then talking to people today, as I do almost every day, and and they're having questions about that, right? That if you are in your energy of if you're in higher dimensional energy, that will not bother you because you know you're protected by them. You're taken care of by your spirit guides, your guardian angels. I mean, they got you. They got you, right? And there's many of them, right? So, yes. Okay, hang on. The change for most humans will be to regulate their ego, not to go into fear, to keep themselves regulated in a place where you can understand it, not be freaked out. Again, that's why we're receiving all this information from the divine, from the ancestors, right? Also the ETs. Spirit has always said, they know our soul journey, we do not. We do not. It's true. It's true. We're not pawns or anything. But those of us who are connected to the divine, who are connected to spirit, know. You're going to know. You're going to know. Right? I mean, I haven't watched the news in months because it's all talking points. It's all talking points. Keeping the population in fear. Keeping the population against each other. Keeping the population. That's what they do as they run the government the way they want to run the government, which is corrupt. All the way down to the deepest. All the way down to the deepest. And it's going to show us. It's going to show us exactly what has happened in the past year and a half. It's going to show us how they've always done things. That's why so many people in Congress are not running for re-election. They're saying the writing's in the wall. The Democrats are going to take over the House and the Senate. Not if we're in martial law, they won't. As the Spirit has said, there won't be any real elections till 2028. As people in Congress, as this all falls down on top of them, do one of two things. Get picked up and put in jail until their trial, or they hurt themselves because they can't take the humiliation of take, and how they built up their bank accounts. It's them. I'm telling you this, entertainment purposes only, right? I can just tell you what they told me. Understanding too that, hang on, they want me to answer Sue's question. I don't know what that's about. So whenever we will be transferred in a different way in stocks. Yes. Okay, so Spirit says this. Talk to your financial advisor, asking them the question, what if? What if the stock market goes down? like a lot, like in the Great Depression, or asking them that and see what they say back. You will know if it's true or not, or if they're blowing smoke. Most of them will blow smoke because they're part of the system. They're part of the system because it's all controlled by the oligarchs. It's all controlled. And as things have turned against the customer, against the client, against the citizenship, the citizenry of the United States, so they can make more money, it's going to turn on them. Just like back in the day in 1700s, right? All these corporations that sell things, the food is poison, number one. The only country in the world that can put all this crap inside of the food to make it more accessible and cheaper. No. But that's what they believe. We won't be able to feed our population of 335 million people if we don't put fructose corn syrup in everything because sugar is too expensive. No. But then sugar prices go up. People can't afford sugar. They always have an angle on what's going to happen if we do this. That's part of the scam. It's part of the scam, part of the corruption, right? We have foods in America that they won't sell any place in the world but here because it's poison. The dyes and the chemicals. And one person said, I watched the video, they said, isn't it interesting that in America they put organic on chicken and vegetables and things like that, but they don't really get you to understand that the other stuff is full of pesticides. It's full of chemicals. It's full of all this shit that causes cancer. Makes us obese. Makes us fat. Because it's not natural food. It's food that is made up. They can make more money putting high fructose corn syrup in cereal, in soda, in tea, and all kinds of different things because it was cheaper so that they could make more money. And the government supported that through the FDA with rubber stamping everything. It was the only way we were going to be able to feed America. And corporations who have lobbyists who spend billions of dollars a year on legislation by giving it to people in politics, win the race. They win. Because we're the mice being researched by them. Let's see what happens. It's a vicious circle. You get sick, you need medicine. You go to the doctor, you need medicine. How many times do you see a freaking medicine commercial on TV? They're back to back a lot of times. Mm-hmm. Especially on popular shows. It comes on my YouTube channel constantly. Because they have the money to do that. Why? Because corporations are worried about the stock price. The people that have that stock want the dividend. I saw yesterday where destination charges on cars have doubled in the past 20 years. Really? My electric bill, now, if you use a credit card, they charge you $3 to use a credit card. Transactional fees. Well, DTE is a huge corporation. They process millions of credit card and debit card transactions every single month. The companies, I know this for a fact, the companies that have high transactions get a lower rate. I have a friend who owns one of those companies that does those transactions. So this other company that DT is using to do these transactions, DT is not making any money on this. Well, that's a lie. Guarantee you that company's giving them a slice of the pie. So every month, $3. May not seem like a lot, but for the millions of customers of Detroit Edison, bank, free money, free freaking money, because they're not charging you a percentage of the transaction. You got a straight $3. Another piece of the pie. See? So all of us understanding that that this is coming down the pike, it's all falling on top of us as a country, because the corruption has to go, because it's dying in 3D as we lift ourselves into fourth dimension and fifth dimension and higher. Spirit has said many, many, many times, that things are going to change by 2020. Be ready for 2026, 2027, 2028. So as we head towards 2030 and 2032, because it goes through 2050, the transformation does, we're on the bottom of this awesome transformation. We're the people on the ground. We're the people who are going to help lots of people. Help them understand when they don't get, why am I having a voice in my head? Why am I seeing auras? Why am I seeing fairies around my face? Why am I? Because they're all going to go through a transformation. 60% of them, then an extra 20%. That's why you're able to go from point A to point B to point C very quickly in 5D energy, where it would have taken you A, B, C, meditation, calming, because the energy was so frantic. Nervous system was out of whack. Vagus nerve was out of whack. All we did was survive and survive and survive and survive. So as that crashes, we're all going to be fine. We're all going to be fine. We just have to, I know. We just have to make sure that we're conscious and not in fear. Will that be easy? It will be if you're pushing back against your ego, Spirit says. Ego, that's not true, that's a lie. If you're not doing that, you are getting ready for an absolute WTF moment. Because you're going to go into fear so quickly if you're not calming your ego. Because you have relied on that ego for the past 12,000 years or more to keep you alive. Spirit gave me this information in 2019, and I've shared it a number of times. My ego rests right back here underneath my right ear. It's always on trigger, ready to save my life. But the more I ascend, the quieter it is. It doesn't trigger as fast because the energy's better. You don't have all of these ego thoughts of the past. Ego, that's not true. That's a lie. When spirits told me this after in the middle of a meditation, right? I was sitting in my swivel chair, which is one of my favorite chairs, because it moves, right? You got to push that back. How do I do that? You got to tell the ego, that's not true. That's a lie. All you do is lie to me, ego. Stop. I'm not listening to that stuff. It's a lie. As it was rolling around stuff from my childhood, even after therapy and Brenda and all those types of things, right? When you're, again, trying to black out in a meditation, how your mind can be calm. Ego, that's not true. That's a lie. My sister's going through that now. She had kind of a crisis happen, and she self-worth. Is everybody's perfect? Oh, absolutely not. Things happen to us in childhood that our spiritual self was like, WTF, what is this about? I came back to service. I didn't come back for this abuse. I didn't come back for this yelling. I didn't come back for all of this emotional stuff. But here we are. Here we are. So when you get a crisis and you haven't pushed back on ego, because it's going to take over, fear. Just a nonstop rotation of fear in your mind. That meditation might work, but only for a while. Doing your work on your ego, not to suppress it, because it is valuable in some situations, right? Run, he's after you. Fight, he wants to hurt you. Run out of your house because of the fire. Ego works, but it also works in a way negative way. Spirit says 50% of the time it works. The other 85%, it's against you. It's self-sabotage, self-sabotage, self-sabotage. Because it knows that if you die, it's going to die too. It's been with you through every single lifetime that you've had in 3D. It's the same ego. It returns to you because it's part of your soul. Part of your programming. So at this point in time, if you don't push back on that, you're going to hit the ceiling of 3D. They might let you in the lower 4, but I'll tell you, you ain't going no higher than that until you curb that. And pushing back at it, I will tell you, it took me 9 months of every day pushing back on that. Doing my meditations, pushing back on it every time that it said, that's not going to happen. Bill, you know that's not going to happen. And that was mostly about moving to Hawaii. I've always believed, I've always known that I'm moving. Just wasn't immediately. I think Daisy and I are ready to go now. We'll see. They're in charge. I'm not. So as we go through this, controlling that, and people say, you can't control your ego. Yes, you can. I'll be the poster child for that stuff. Because you can. It no longer, when I am in this energy, completely quiet. Completely quiet. But when you are in crisis, what do? We fall back into 3D because we don't know how to handle it. Why? Because we haven't worked on it yet. Or it needs to be healed. It's Mercury retrograde, everybody. It brings up everything that needs to be healed for 3.5 weeks. 3 times a year. That's what it does. That's what it's for. To clear us of this energy, believing that we are going to take care of it. In our past, we've been, boy, that's a rough time. I don't know what was going on, but man, oh man, I'm just spent. I'm just spent. I don't understand. Again, we're just now learning about the planets and and the energy that they have that connects to us. The sun, the solar flares, those are so full of information, it's ridiculous. And it's connecting to us in all parts that we don't even understand yet. So the collapse is supposed to happen as we ascend. That's what it was planned for. Again, I will say this fast, I say this quickly. When I channeled this information about the United States being the youngest country in the world, that it was going to happen to us in this country, youngest country in the world, more liberal than other countries because we didn't have the old history of Europe or China or Russia. Okay? We were not easily manipulated, but we were more apt to listen to and understand and switch directions where the other countries were the Titanic. They can't in enough time. Our 330 million people in the country, we're programmed to, most of us, it'll be 80% over 20, right? Spirit always said it's going to be 10 or 20% that will not come, that as they pass away, they will not come back to the earth because their time in 3D is over with. They're here for a reason. The other 80% ascends. So all of things that we talked about then, which I'm going to go back and find those, and I'm going to post them on my Facebook page, because they're interesting. How everything that's happening now, my guides brought to us years ago. And again, I don't listen to what I say when I'm channeling. I can't. Sometimes I can intervene in my head and say, no, I don't want to say it like that. Or I say it out loud, but I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. You got to redo that because I don't understand it. Because they think I'm smarter than I actually am. They think that I can pronounce words that I do not have any idea how to pronounce. I used to be a muggle with a voice in my head, right? So as we go through this and we recognize the things that have been said, the things that have been channeled, right? And when it starts to happen, when the military is a military coup, removes everybody from the government at one swift swoop, and then within 90 days, a new cabinet and Barack Obama go back into office, okay? The world's a mess, right? So we don't really have to worry about much of that because they're going through what we've already gone through, right? They look to us for knowledge. They look to us for leadership, again. Because as Spirit said, he's the only person who is honest, former president. Now, the Pope, first one from America, from Chicago. Well, who else is from Chicago? Barack Obama? There's no such thing as coincidences. Okay? Now, is he the one who is never born? I believe so. I believe so. He was holding mass in his living room at age 5. He might have been born out of a mama from a daddy. He's divinely sent. I truly believe that. Oof, yeah, and so do they. They confirm that. Who's the woman? No idea yet. No idea yet. But if anybody can unite as religion crumbles, who's this person? Who's this person? So as I go back through the videos, hopefully I can find them that I didn't already delete them, but they're on my YouTube page. All 257 of them, I think. I'll try to get them over on my Facebook page so people can see them, or some way get on my Facebook page and tell them where they're at and who they are, so everybody can go back and look at it and kind of get an idea of what's going on. Okay? Yeah. So Julie, what Obama? You just said Obama. I don't know what that is. That for me? I don't know what that means. But if you can let me know, that's cool. Okay. Ego taken care of. Most of you will find that doing muggle meditations no longer serve you. You don't connect to them. Why? Because your energy is higher. Your vibration is higher. So ask your spirit guides, your guardian angels, to bring you fifth dimensional meditations. I found stuff for my sister today, which were, I just looked, I put in self-worth, boom. There was a number of them that I listened to and went, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect too. Because they confirmed that they were perfect. Send them to my sister. Okay? Because, again, when we're in crisis, it's because of growth. Oh, exactly. Yep. And so as part of the growth of us letting stuff go, they bring it up to us in ways that we never thought would trigger us, but they do. Because the person that you had lunch with, the person that you had dinner with, the person that you went out to the club with, guess what? They're in your life for one reason, to trigger you into going, why is he such an asshole? Why is she so crazy? I don't get it. I don't get it. Spirit, why would you bring this person and then you never see them again, but they left their imprint on you for you to fix? They were there to trigger you, to bring it up during Mercury retrograde, so that you can absolutely go through and clear it out of your body. Make peace with it. Forgive yourself. Because I'm telling you what, it is, hang on. Taz says, Chicago is the heart chakra of the country. Okay, there you go. I didn't know that. She lives in Chicago. Everything is happening for a reason, for a purpose. For us, for our friends, for our family, the country, the states we live in. And eventually it will be much, 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 much better. It's not socialism. It's not communism. All of those terms are meant to scare you. Meant to scare you. Because the oligarchs, the white, rich, privileged men, want you to be in fear. They want you to be in fear. They understand how to control the masses with fear, just like the church. Just like the church. As we break away from that, Spirit is showing all the cords being snapped. Snap, 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 snap. Ooh, yeah, snapped. As we drift away. We're talking with the government, with the rich oligarchs, white oligarchs, that control everything in the world. Everything in the world. Everything in the world. And there's women in there too. African American women in there. One in particular, her name begins with an O. For entertainment purposes only, guys. Can't have that much money and not do anything with it. Time to take it. And they will. Through whatever means needed. The left side of my head is lit up with chills. It's happening as we speak. Okay? With the Iran war, with Ecuador, with Venezuela. They want the oil. They want the oil. Corruption is rampant. $500 million for a tanker full of oil from Venezuela. And that company, that person that received the oil, conglomerate, oligarch, whatever you want to call it, deposited $500 million into a bank account with the orange in Dubai. Maybe it was the Emirates. 500 million. It's all about the money. And now it is being shown to us. It's showing to us, being shown to us. Why? Because they know we're prepared to see it. The ones that have done the work, that have been called into service, that have been electrified, will understand exactly what it is. Okay? So as it shows up on your YouTube feed, as it shows up on, you need to pay attention and watch them. They're trying to give you a message about the future. Okay? They understand about your spirituality. They understand about all those types of things. But understanding that you're protected by them, 100%, 100%, not even a question. I never questioned it at all. I haven't for years questioned that. Because when they tell me, Bill, stop trying to figure it out, stop trying to control it, just fucking surrender. Okay, what do I do? Fine, take it over, whatever. As my fear went from being this high to being this high. Everybody's going to have fear. Am I fearful about the future? No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Simply because I know they've got me. It's not a trap. All of that stuff from third dimension has gone for us. Gone for us. But you got to believe it. Got to understand that they're never going to take anything away from you. They're not. Because you've done the work. They understand who you are. They're yours. They've been yours since you came to the planet 12,000 years ago or more. And every lifetime that you have, or 5 lifetimes, whatever it is, I don't know the calculation, you gain guides above your head that are there to take care of you. That's what it is. Ivory tower above everybody's head has got many, many, many guides in it that have never been human. It came from someplace else. Yeah. Carol, my ear's been burning since you started talking. Yeah, that guy kind of had that effect on people. Vibration, high. Chimes. Carol, you got chimes. My little one chime with my little circle there. Spirits, don't throw it away. Now I know why. So Angela says Iran has a Stargate. She thinks it has a Stargate. Hey, Joy, how you doing? So, any questions, everybody? Put them here on the feed, or put them on the YouTube feed. I'd rather you do it on the YouTube feed so that I can answer you, because I'll delete this at 8 o'clock tonight after I've downloaded it, or I'm sorry, uploaded it on YouTube, and people who don't have a YouTube feed can actually watch it here on my Facebook page, on both Facebook pages, all 3 Facebook pages. Yeah. See? It's important information, guys. I don't want anybody to be afraid. Okay? I don't want anybody to be afraid, because there don't need to be. They're going to take care of you. They're going to take care of you. I'm one of the people who I can't save money in my house because I don't have that much money. Not much at all. So I know they're going to take care of me in that sense. I trust them 100%. That I'll get my Social Security, that I'll make some money in my memberships and things like that. They got me. So Sue says she doesn't feel like she's going to be in fear. I worry about my children will be in fear. Well, Sue, the great thing about that is you're their mom, and and they'll listen to you, and they're connected to you in every way possible, and they just have to know that they've got them, I don't prefer God, in the religious sense, but yeah. I worry about my family, right? I worry about my nieces and nephews who don't listen to Uncle Bill, and my brother who doesn't listen to his brother, right? I worry about them because they're muggles. One's even a Trumper, which blows my mind, but he still is after 6 years. My sister gets it now. She's going through her stuff. See? But I worry about my nieces and nephews who, Uncle Bill's just weird. He's just weird. It's just Uncle Bill, until it happens. And then they go, holy sheesh, now what do I do? The bank's closed. When's it going to reopen? I don't know. As the Ponzi scheme crashes it inside of itself, because it's going to. It's happening now. Yeah. Again, and it's not about being in fear. It's about keeping yourself as balanced as you can be by not watching the news, by not paying attention to anything that, again, it's all to keep you in fear. And I realized that years ago. And I was a huge news person. Yeah. But no. Until Kamala didn't win. After they confirmed that she was going to. But I will say this. Voter fraud, huge in 2024. If you've been paying attention about the voter fraud in Georgia, where little Elon went ahead and sent in ballots that were already pre-done with people's names on them. And they checked them off the list because they were registered voters. Yep. Well, the swing states in the north. But again, everything happens for a reason, right? Everything happened to put that person back in charge of the government as he tears down the White House and is not able to rebuild it. All these things that we've done for other countries is now our responsibility to ourselves. Every Democrat who followed a Republican administration has to fix what the others did. Again, that's just how it goes. But when the coup happens and people are removed and weeks later new people are in, to keep the government informed, right? To keep the government in charge. Don't be surprised after this Iran war, which we're not probably going to win, and Spirit said this years ago, and I'll re-emphasize it because it blows my freaking mind. There will be bombings in New York City, in Washington, D.C., in Miami, in Houston with the oil refineries, possibly Dallas, L.A., Vegas, San Francisco, and Washington State. And Spirit has said they are not foreign terrorists. They are not, they're homegrown. They're American. They're the American people. MAGA. They will do this and blame the Iranians. Spirit gave me that today. The perfect setup to keep the hatred and the war going as they're removed. Until something drastically changes, which again, Obama and the new cabinet will save the country. And in turn, show the world how to fix it. The crypto thing is, I know, right there in my head. It's concerning, but we don't know how it's going to pan out, believing that it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. They're not going to leave us high and dry, everybody. They're not going to leave us in survival. No, we're 5D. The others, they're going to freak the hell out. That's when many people, Spirit says, will go, yeah, you know what? I think that those people right there, this maggot thing is crazy. No, he's a pedophile, and he's crazy, and he's a thief, and he's all this other stuff. I'm going to go over here with the starseeds. Again, for entertainment purposes only. See? It is what it is. So any questions, like I said before, put them on the feed or put them on the YouTube feed. I'd rather you do them there because they never leave. And you can educate others with my responses and things like that. Okay? Readings are still on sale if you want a reading. $85 for half an hour, $115 for 60 minutes. Book that if you're into it. Memberships keep growing, and guys, there's still more room for everybody. They're amazing. The energy that is in the Coaching for the Soul memberships blows my mind. The growth in there is ridiculous. Ridiculous. My friend Sheila from the group and Sue from the group went to Brenda. How was that time? Both found it extremely interesting. There's things around us that we can use to our advantage. The collective is all there to support each other. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Memberships are part of that. Memberships are part of that. 15 minutes to an hour and a half every single month. Talk to me, FaceTime, Zoom, Facebook Messenger video, on the phone. Yeah. Unlimited questions every month. And some people use them often, daily, which is fine. I mean, it's all there. It's all there, right? For me to let you know. I'm never not in spirit, everybody. It's always right there. I live in it. Live in it. Yeah. Yeah. So those are the things. Oh, there's gift certificates too if you want to give a gift certificate for birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, whatever. Yeah, yeah. So Sue says, Brenda's amazing. She's going back. Yeah. Sheila said the same thing. I'm going to go back. She knew she was up, like way up. Yeah, she knows what's going on. So anyway, guys, if you would for me in about 15 minutes or so, if you would go over to the YouTube channel and like the video and kind of watch it or just leave it running so that it goes for like a longer period of time, if you can. I would appreciate that. Leave a comment. Hey, Bill, what's going on? Great video, or whatever you want to say. An emoji or lots of emojis would be even better. I would appreciate that. Any questions, you know where to find me. You can email me. You can Facebook message me. You can text me on my cell phone. It's all available on billhobart.com, guys. Everything is right. You can send me a letter if you want to. My address is on there, which I don't like, but my tech person, Terry, says Bill's got to be on there. So, okay, it's there too. So pretty much my business is on the web page, billhobart.com, homepage, right there. If you want to donate tabs there too, if you feel like you want to. So anyway, guys, I'll see you next Thursday at 3 o'clock, Coach for the Soul, and take care of yourself. See ya.